In this lesson, we're going to have a look at conditional probability, in particular, focus on Venn diagrams. So conditional probability is basically probability calculations, but ones that involve the words given that. So I'll show you an example of exactly what I mean and then how to deal with these words given that. So the question here says a group of 100 people produced the following information relating to 3 attributes. The attributes were wearing glasses, being left-handed and having dark hair. Glasses were worn by 36 people, 28 were left-handed and 36 had dark hair. There were 17 who wore glasses and were left-handed, and 19 who wore glasses and had dark hair, and 15 who were left-handed and had dark hair. Only 10 people wore glasses, were left-handed and had dark hair. So loads and loads of information there. So it says using G to denote the event that a chosen person wears glasses, LH to denote the event that a person is left-handed, and DH to denote the event that a person has dark hair. Draw a Venn diagram to represent this information. So let's get straight on it. Let's draw the Venn diagram. So 3 circles, each overlapping. Like that. And let's use the abbreviations that they've specified. So we've got G is somebody wearing glasses. Then we've got LH for left-handed and DH for dark hair. Now, what we should do first is look at the region with the most overlap. So this one here, where all 3 are overlapping, is what we should try and do first. So it said only 10 people wore glasses, were left-handed and had dark hair. So 10 will go in that most overlapping region there. Then let's look at the ones surrounding that with overlap. So it says here that there were 17 who wore glasses and were left-handed, 17 who wore glasses and were left-handed. So it's telling us that this here adds up to 17 for glasses, the overlap between glasses and left-handed. So that means 7 must go in there. So I've used that number there. 19 who wore glasses and had dark hair. So glasses and dark hair overlap is here, so that must be 9. If glasses and dark hair is to add up to 19. And 15 who were left-handed and had dark hair, leaving that one to be 5. So we've used those numbers there. Then it says glasses were worn by 36 people, so the whole of the glasses circle needs to add up to 36. So 36 take 10, take 7, take 9 also is equal to 10. So 10 goes in there. Then left-handed, it tells us that left-handed has to add up to 28. So 28, take away 7, take away 10, take away 5, gives us 6. And then 36 again is what dark hair has to add up to. So 36, take away 9, take away 10, take away 5 equals 12. And now adding all those up to find out what goes outside of the circles. So 10 plus 7 plus 6 plus 9 plus 10 plus 5 plus 12 equals 59. So 100, take away that, gives us 41, goes on the outside. So 41 had none of the attributes. So we've done the Venn diagram. So now let's have a look at the conditional probability part of this. And we'll introduce some new notation now. And the new notation is here, this vertical bar, which means given that. So just right at the side there, 2 events A and B with a bar between them. That means that given that B has occurred, find the probability of A. So find the probability of A given B means that given that B has occurred, find the probability that A also occurred. Now, what you'll see if you have a look at your formula booklet is that the probability of A given B is equal to the probability of A intersection B over the P of B. And that is given in your formula booklet, but I think there's a better way of thinking about it than using the formula booklet. I'd rather think about it intuitively. I'd rather think about the story that this probability is trying to tell us. So what this is telling us is, given that someone has dark hair, find the probability that they wore glasses. So state in words what the following expressions represent. So the probability that someone wore glasses given they had dark hair. And that phrase, given they had dark hair, helps us narrow stuff down, because we know that if they had dark hair, then the only numbers that we're allowed to use now are numbers in this circle, because these are the only numbers of people that have dark hair. So what I would first of all do is write a denominator out. It's no longer out of 100 anymore. It's only out of those things in the yellow circle. So 12 plus 5 plus 10 plus 9 is equal to 36. It's out of 36 now. And the probability that they wore glasses, well, it's not everything here. It's only numbers, as I said before, in the yellow circle. So it's 19 out of 36, because those are the only ones for people who wore glasses in what I've highlighted so far. So 19 out of 36 is the answer. So I think it's much easier to think of it intuitively. So let's have a look at another one. The probability that they have dark hair given that they wore glasses. So just writing that down. The prob they had dark hair given they wore glasses. So we know they wore glasses, and that's a given. So they must be in this yellow circle here. So the only numbers we're going to use are the ones in the yellow circle. So let's first of all find the denominator. It's no longer out of 100 because we're given that. We've narrowed it down. We're given that they wore glasses. So 10 plus 7 plus 10 plus 9. So it's out of 36 this time. And the probability that I had dark hair, well, dark hair is here. So it's 19 out of 36 again. 19 out of 36. Right now, the probability that they were left-handed, given that they didn't wear glasses. The prob they were left-handed, given they did not wear glasses. Getting a little bit more difficult now, but basically just do what we did before. Highlight all the numbers where they were not wearing glasses. So there's not wearing glasses. Anything here isn't wearing glasses. So they're the numbers we're allowed to use. Anything where they were not wearing glasses. So let's find how many it's out of now. So 41 plus 12 plus 5 plus 6 is out of 64 now. And the probability that they were left-handed, well, we can see the only ones that were left-handed are the 6 and the 5. So that's 11 out of 64. Finally, this one says the probability they wore glasses given they either were left-handed or dark head. So left-handed or dark head is anything in these two circles here. So we're only allowed to use these numbers now because we're given that one of those two things happened. So let's find out what the denominator is. So we've got 12 plus 9 plus 10 plus 5 plus 7 plus 6. So it's out of 49. And the probability that they wore glasses. So the ones wearing glasses are these three here. So 9 add 10 is 19, add 7 is 26 out of 49. So that there is conditional probability from a Venn diagram. So now let's have a look at a conditional probability from a Venn diagram, but where the diagram itself contains probabilities. So there's not much more to it at all. In fact, there's no more to it. It's just as simple. But let's have a go now. And here's the question here, and you can see it's a little bit more complicated. So it says the Venn diagram in figure 1 shows three events A, B and C, and the probabilities associated with each region of B. The constants P, Q and R each represent probabilities associated with the three separate regions outside B. The events A and B are independent. So stop reading. The independent, so thinking back, the definition of independence is the probability of A intersection B equals the probability of A times the probability of B. That's what statistical independence means. So we can use this this definition to work out part A, which says find the value of P, because it says the probability of A intersection B, which we can see is 0.1 there, is equal to the probability of A, which we can see is 0.1 plus P. So let's write that down. 0.1 plus P times the probability of B, which is 0.1 plus 0.1 plus 0.2, i.e. 0.4. So rearranging that, dividing by 0.4, well, 0.1 divided by 0.4 is a quarter, equals, in fact I should be consistent and use decimals, 0.25 equals 0.1 plus P, and then taking everything over the other side, that tells us that P equals 0.15 is the answer. So part B now, it says given that the probability of B given C is 5/11. Let's stop reading. The probability of B given C is 5/11. So we're given that C has happened. So basically, probability is no longer out of 1. If we're talking about the whole diagram, all the probabilities add up to 1. But now that we're just given that C has happened, the probabilities no longer add up to 1. They just add up to the numbers I've highlighted. So the denominator is no longer 1. It's 0.2 plus Q. Everything is out of that now. We're only allowed to use numbers in C because we're given that C has happened. And then the probability of B was 0.2. Not all of this, just the portion that's in our highlighted region. Again, we're only now allowed to use numbers from the region that we're given happened, equals 5/11. So rearranging this now, we get 0.2 equals, if I multiply both sides by 0.2 plus Q, is 5/11, 0.2 plus Q. Let's divide both sides by 5/11 now. So 0.2 divided by 5/11 is equal to 11/25. Dividing both sides by 5/11 equals 0.2 plus Q, which means that Q equals 11/25. Take away 0.2. So 11/25 take away 0.2 is equal to 6/25, which is 0.24. And let's put all of these regions on our diagram now. So Q is 0.24. we had P was 0.15, and that leaves us being able to find what R is now, because all the probabilities must add up to 1. So we do 1, take away the rest of those. So 1, take 0.15, take 0.1, take another 0.1, take 0.2, take 0.24. We end up with the answer, which is 0.21 is R. So writing down full working here, R equals 1 minus 0.15 minus 0.1 minus another 0.1 minus 0.2 minus 0.24, and that was equal to 0.21. And that leaves us able to do the final part now, part C. So find the probability of A union C given B. Well, we're given B has happened. So that there, those are the numbers that we need. So actually this was doable without having done the rest of the question, because all the numbers we're going to use were available at the start of the question. So A union C are these two numbers here. So we're given B, so the probability now is only those probabilities within B, so add those all up. We get 0.1 plus 0.1 plus 0.2. So that's all of B. And the ones we want in B are 0.1 plus 0.2. So putting that in the calculator. So on the top we've got 0.3. On the bottom we've got 0.4. Leaving us with 3/4 as the answer. And that's conditional probability in Venn diagrams. So now go and have a look at the worksheet, do all the questions and check each answer as usual as you go.